Welcome, everyone, to the AI Factory podcast. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the real economics of cloud computing. It's a world of amazing promise, but it also comes with some hidden costs and, well, some really crucial choices.
So the cloud promises all this agility, all these savings, right? But are you really prepared for the hidden costs that can sneak up on you? We're going to move way beyond that simple cloud saves money idea and get into the strategic financial landscape you're actually navigating.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We'll start with the huge economic shift that the cloud brought about. Then we'll look at the menu of different pricing models out there. After that, we'll tackle the big one, the risk of vendor lock-in. And finally, we'll wrap up with some solid strategies for maintaining your cloud freedom.
All right, first up, the economic shift. This is really about the biggest change the cloud introduced to how we think about IT finance. It's this massive move from owning your stuff to just renting it.
So, in the old days, IT was all about what we call capital expenditures, or CapEx. You can think of it like buying a house, right? You make this huge upfront investment in physical things, servers, data centers, and that money is locked in for years while the equipment gets older and older.
And then the cloud came along and just flipped that whole model on its head. Now we're talking about operational expenditures, or OpEx. So instead of buying, you're renting. It's way more like your monthly utility bill. You just pay for the computing power you use as you use it.
And this really lays out the fundamental trade-off. With CapEx, yeah, you own everything, you have full control, but the upfront cost is huge, and you're always worried about your gear becoming obsolete. On the other hand, OpEx gives you amazing flexibility and a much lower barrier to entry, but you do give up some direct control, and forecasting your costs long-term can get pretty tricky.
Okay, so now we get to the fun part. If we're renting, how do we actually pay for it? Let's dive into the menu of pricing models, because there are a few different ways to slice this.
Yeah, cloud pricing is definitely not a one-size-fits-all deal. It's really a menu of options, and each one comes with a different trade-off between how much you're going to pay and how much flexibility you get.
This table breaks it down perfectly. You've got on-demand, which is your baseline. No commitment, total flexibility, but you pay the full price. It's great for unpredictable traffic. Then you have reserved instances. Here you commit to 1 or even 3 years, and in return you get massive savings, up to 75%. This is your go-to for stable, always-on workloads. And then there's Spot.
Spot instances are where you see just incredible savings. I mean, we're talking up to 90% off. What you're doing here is basically bidding on a provider's spare, unused compute capacity. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. The provider can take that capacity back at any time with just a few minutes' notice. So it's perfect for tasks that can be interrupted and aren't time-sensitive.
So it all sounds pretty great, right? You've got flexibility, you've got major potential savings, but what's the hidden cost of all this convenience? Well, that brings us to the big one, the risk of vendor lock-in. So what is vendor lock-in? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when you get so deeply tied into one cloud provider's ecosystem that switching to another one becomes incredibly expensive, or technically complex, or just a massive headache. And when that happens, you lose your negotiating power, and it can really stifle your ability to innovate.
And the thing about lock-in is it's not just a single problem. It's more like a tangled web. You've got technical factors, data factors, economic factors, even human factors, and they all work together to make you more and more dependent on that one provider.
Let's break down those forces. First, there's the technological piece. You start using a provider's cool proprietary services and APIs, and pretty soon, your whole application is built around them. To move, you'd have to rewrite everything. Then there's the economic side, what's often called data gravity. It's super cheap to get your data into the cloud, but they hit you with these big egress fees to get it out. And finally, there's the human element. Your teams become experts on one platform, and the cost and time to retrain everyone on a new system is just huge.
Okay, so how you get all the amazing benefits of the cloud without building a cage for yourself? Let's talk about some real strategies for achieving cloud freedom.
It really comes down to two main pillars. First, you have to think about a multi-cloud architecture. That means you intentionally use services from more than one provider so you don't become too dependent on any single one. And second, and this is maybe the most important part, you prioritize open source technologies. You build on a foundation that isn't owned by any one vendor.
And here are some great examples of what that looks like in the real world. Instead of using a proprietary database that only works on one cloud, you use something like PostgreSQL, which you can run anywhere. Instead of a vendor-specific tool for managing your infrastructure, you use an open-source one like Pulumi. See the pattern?
Every choice here is about building for portability.
So at the end of the day, understanding cloud economics isn't just about the monthly bill. It's about being strategic. It's about making deliberate choices to make sure your technology is empowering your business, not holding it back. So you have to ask yourself, is your cloud strategy building a bridge to the future, or is it building a cage?
If you want to explore these ideas in a lot more detail, you should definitely check out the book AI Factory: Architecting Global Supremacy. We've put a link for you in the description of the video. Thanks so much for joining us today.